You wake up after 8 hours in bed, maybe even 9. Then your alarm goes off and you hit snooze once, twice, maybe 3 times. When you finally drag yourself out of bed, you feel terrible. Heavy limbs, brain fog, that feeling where even making coffee feels like too much effort. And you think, but I slept enough, I got 8 hours. Why do I feel like I've been hit by a truck? So maybe you try sleeping more, 9 hours, 10 hours at the weekend, and you still wake up feeling exhausted. Or maybe you're on the other end of it. You wake up at 3 a.m., mind racing, and can't get back to sleep. So technically you're in bed for 8 hours, but you're only actually sleeping for 5 or 6. Either way, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're prioritizing sleep, you're in bed for the right amount of time, and your body isn't responding. This pattern is really common, and here's what I want to say right at the start. This often isn't about sleep quality, it's about circadian misalignment. Your body might be in bed for 8 hours, but if it doesn't know what time of day it is, that sleep might not be doing what it's supposed to do. So today we are talking about why you're exhausted despite sleeping enough, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Welcome back to Quantum Nourishment. I'm Frances Norgate, a certified nutrition and lifestyle advisor qualified at the Institute for Optimum Nutrition, a member of the Federation of Holistic Therapists, and an ambassador for the Public Health Collaboration, a UK charity on a mission to help people enjoy good metabolic health and prevent chronic disease through evidence-based lifestyle education. On this podcast, I explore the intersection of nutritional science, quantum biology, and circadian health, breaking down how light, timing, nervous system regulation, and metabolic rhythm work together to create the foundation for healing. My approach is simple, science-informed, and focused on what your body actually needs to restore energy, hormones, and vitality. And I want to be upfront with you, this field is constantly evolving, new research comes out all the time, and I'm always learning and refining my understanding alongside you. What I share is based on the best available evidence I have right now, combined with what I see working in practice. But I'm on this learning journey with you, not pretending I have all the answers figured out. So today we're diving into one of the most frustrating experiences, waking up exhausted after what should have been enough sleep. We'll talk about why this happens, what's actually going on in your body, and most importantly, what you can do about it, even if you're in a grey climate in the middle of winter. This is not medical advice, so if you have any specific health concerns, please work with your healthcare provider. This is about understanding your body better, but it's not a replacement for proper medical care. And a quick reminder for anyone who's new here or didn't catch the first episode, when I talk about quantum nourishment, I mean your body needs more than just food to function well. It needs the right signals at the right times, like light exposure, meal timing, and nervous system safety. These signals tell your body, should I produce energy or conserve it? Should I feel awake or sleepy? Should I repair or stay alert? And when those signals are misaligned, when your body doesn't know what time it is, your metabolism struggles, your sleep gets disrupted, your energy becomes unpredictable. This episode connects directly to the first pillar of quantum nourishment, which is light, rhythm, and the nervous system, because what I see quite often is that sleep problems aren't actually sleep problems, they are circadian rhythm problems. So let's break down what's happening. So we've all been told you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Get your 8 hours, sleep is non-negotiable, and those things are true, sleep duration matters. But here's what gets missed. When you sleep and how aligned your sleep is with your circadian rhythm matters just as much, maybe more than how long you sleep. You could sleep for 8 hours from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. and wake up feeling terrible, or you could sleep for 7 hours from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and wake up feeling amazing. So what's the difference? The difference is circadian alignment. Your circadian rhythm is your body's internal 24-hour clock. It's controlled primarily by light exposure, specifically sunlight hitting your eyes at certain times of day. And this rhythm controls everything. When you feel awake, when you feel sleepy, when your body produces cortisol, which is your wake-up hormone, when it produces melatonin, your sleep hormone, when your body temperature rises and falls, when digestion is optimal, when your immune system is most active. Everything in your body is timed, and here's the thing, your body's designed to be awake when it's light and asleep when it's dark. That's how humans evolved for millions of years. But in modern life, we are indoors most of the day. We don't get morning sunlight. We have bright artificial lights on at night. We are staring at screens until we go to bed. We eat at irregular times, and our bodies, our ancient biology, have absolutely no idea what time of day it is. So even if you're in bed for 8 hours, your body might not be producing the right hormones at the right times. Your sleep architecture might be disrupted. Your deep sleep might be impaired. So you're getting quantity but not quality. Let me explain one specific example of how this plays out. So cortisol is often labeled the stress hormone, but it's not just about stress. It's actually your primary wake-up hormone. In a healthy circadian rhythm, cortisol should peak in the morning, ideally within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. This is called the cortisol awakening response. It's what makes you feel alert, energized, and ready to start the day. Then cortisol should gradually decline throughout the day, reaching its lowest point at night when melatonin rises and you feel sleepy. But when your circadian rhythm is off, when you're not getting morning light, when you're exposed to bright light at night, when your nervous system is chronically activated, cortisol timing gets disrupted. You might have low cortisol in the morning, which is why you feel terrible when you wake up, even after 8 hours of sleep. And you might have elevated cortisol at night, which is why you feel wired but tired, or why you wake up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep. So you're sleeping, but your hormones are misaligned, and that's why you wake up exhausted. There's another piece to this, which is sleep architecture. When you sleep, your body cycles through different stages. So you've got your light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep. Each stage serves a specific function. Deep sleep is when your body repairs tissues, consolidates memories, and restores energy. REM sleep is when your brain processes emotions and experiences. But here's what research is showing. Light exposure during the day, especially morning light, affects how much deep sleep you get at night. If you're not getting adequate light exposure during the day, your body might not produce enough melatonin at night, or the melatonin timing might be off. Or the melatonin quality might be impaired, and that affects your sleep architecture. You might spend more time in light sleep and less time in deep restorative sleep. So again, you're sleeping for 8 hours, but the quality of that sleep is compromised because your circadian rhythm is misaligned. If you're listening to this in winter, or if you live in a grey climate year-round, this problem gets amplified. In winter, there's less daylight. The sun rises later and sets earlier, and in places like the UK, Ireland, Northern Europe, parts of North America, you might have weeks of grey, overcast days where it feels like there's barely any light at all. And this makes circadian alignment really challenging because your body still needs that morning light signal. It still needs to know it's daytime, time to be awake, time to produce energy. But when it's grey and dark and you're inside most of the day, your body doesn't get that signal clearly. So your circadian rhythm drifts, your cortisol timing gets confused, your melatonin production gets disrupted, and you wake up feeling exhausted even after sleeping enough. Here's where I want to share something personal because I struggled with this myself as well. When I first learned about the importance of morning light exposure, I thought, okay, great, I'll get outside first thing in the morning. And then winter came. Here in Ireland where I live, we have a lot of grey days, a lot of rain, and I remember standing at my window in the morning looking out at the dark, drizzly weather and thinking, there's no point, there's barely any light out there anyway. So I didn't go outside. I made my coffee inside. I started my day inside. And I felt terrible as well. Exhausted, foggy, low energy all day. It wasn't until I actually started going outside anyway, even when it was grey, even when it was raining, that I realised it actually makes a difference. Even on a completely overcast day, outdoor light is significantly brighter than indoor light, like 10 to 100 times brighter, depending on how overcast it is. Your eyes and your brain can detect that difference, even if it doesn't feel bright to you. So now I go outside in the morning regardless of the weather. I wear a raincoat if it's raining, I stand outside for 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes longer, or go for a walk, and I've noticed a massive difference in my energy, my mood, and how I feel when I wake up. It feels a bit ridiculous sometimes standing in my garden in the rain at 7 a.m, but it does work. So let me explain why this works, because it's not just anecdotal. Your eyes have special cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. Let's just call them IPRGCs. These cells are different from the rods and cones that help you see. They're specifically designed to detect light levels and send that information to your brain's master clock, which is called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short. These cells are most sensitive to blue light, the type of light that's abundant in morning sunlight. And here's the key: even on a grey overcast day, there's still enough blue light outdoors to activate these cells and send a clear, it's daytime signal to your brain. Indoor light, even bright indoor light, doesn't have the same spectral quality or intensity, so it doesn't activate these cells as effectively. That's why getting outside, even on grey days, matters so much for your circadian rhythm. So if you're in winter right now, or you live somewhere with limited daylight, here's what I would suggest. Morning light exposure becomes even more critical. You might need 15 to 20 minutes outside, even half an hour instead of 10 minutes, because the light is less intense, but even that makes a difference. So get outside as soon as possible after waking. In winter, the window of available morning light is shorter, so don't wait until mid-morning. Go outside within the first hour or two of sunrise if you can, and face the direction of the sun, even if you can't see it. Even through clouds, the light is brighter in the direction of the sun. So don't wear sunglasses. You need light hitting your eyes directly, but don't stare at the sun. Just look in the general direction of the sun with your eyes open naturally. If you're listening to this in summer, that's great. Morning light is more abundant and intense, so you might only need 5 to 10 minutes, but the principle is the same. Get outside, get that light exposure, and set your circadian rhythm for the day. Okay, so we've talked about morning light, but there's another piece that's just as important, which is evening light, because your circadian rhythm isn't just set by morning light, it's reinforced by the absence of bright light at night. When it gets dark in the evening, your brain is supposed to start producing melatonin. Melatonin is your sleep hormone. It makes you feel sleepy, it lowers your body temperature, it prepares your body for sleep. But here's the problem: bright light at night, especially blue light from screens, suppresses melatonin production. So even if you got great morning light exposure, if you're staring at your phone or laptop until midnight, you're sending your brain a confusing signal that says, wait, is it still daytime? Don't produce melatonin yet. And then you wonder why you can't fall asleep, or why your sleep feels fragile, or why you wake up at 3 a.m. I'm not going to tell you to never use screens at night. That's not realistic for most people, but I do think it's worth understanding what's happening. Screens emit blue light. Your brain interprets the blue light as daytime, so when you're scrolling Instagram or watching Netflix or working on your laptop at 10 p.m, your brain thinks it's still midday. And melatonin production gets delayed, your circadian rhythm shifts later, and even when you fall asleep, the quality of that sleep might be impaired because your melatonin levels are lower than they should be. This is one reason that you can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up feeling terrible. So, what can you do about this? A few things that tend to help are dim lights in the evening after sunset. Use dimmer lights in your home, lamps instead of overhead lights, warmer toned bulbs instead of bright white LED lights. Reduce screen time before bed. If you can, stop looking at screens 1 to 2 hours before bed. I know that's hard, but even just reducing screen brightness or using the blue light filters can help with this as well. Or use blue light blocking glasses if you need to use screens. These are glasses specifically designed to block blue light, and you would need to get the ones with the really orange lenses for them to work properly. They're not perfect, but they can help if you need to be on a screen in the evening. Also create a wind down routine. Signal to your body that it's time to start winding down. Dim lights, no screens, maybe some gentle stretching or reading a physical book. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is to create a clearer distinction between day and night. So in the morning, bright light, activity, wakefulness, and in the evening, dim light, calm, and winding down. When your body gets those clear signals, your circadian rhythm strengthens, your hormones time properly, your sleep quality improves, and you start waking up feeling more rested even if you're sleeping the same number of hours. There's another factor that affects sleep quality that people don't always connect, which is meal timing. So when you eat late at night, like dinner at 9 p.m. or snacking at 10 p.m., your body is trying to digest food when it should be repairing and restoring itself during sleep. Digestion requires energy. It raises your body temperature slightly. It activates your metabolism when your metabolism should be winding down. And this can disrupt your sleep quality even if you don't consciously notice it. And what I tend to see working better is finishing dinner by 7 or 8 p.m. most nights, giving your body a natural 12 to 14 hour overnight fasting window. And this isn't about restriction or calorie counting, it's about timing. When you eat during the day and fast overnight, you're reinforcing your circadian rhythm. You're telling your body, this is when we eat and produce energy. This is when we rest and repair. And that helps with sleep quality. The other piece, and this one's quite a big one, is nervous system state. If your nervous system is chronically activated, if you're in that sympathetic fight or flight mode most of the time, your body thinks you're under threat. And when your body thinks you're under threat, it doesn't want you to sleep deeply because deep sleep makes you vulnerable. So your nervous system keeps you in lighter stages of sleep or wakes you up at 3 a.m. to scan for danger. This is a survival mechanism, so it's not you failing, but it means that even if you're in bed for 8 hours, you're not getting restorative sleep. So part of improving sleep quality is helping your nervous system feel safe. And one of the ways to do that is morning light exposure, because morning light doesn't just set your circadian rhythm, it also helps regulate your nervous system. It signals it's daytime, it's safe, we can be alert but not on high alert. And this is why often I say morning light is one of the most powerful inventions for sleep quality because it affects so many systems at once. So let me share a few brief examples of how this plays out in real life. One client came to me sleeping 9 hours a night and waking up exhausted, and so we didn't change anything about her sleep duration, we changed when she saw light. She started getting outside for 10 to 15 minutes every morning before breakfast, even on grey days. She dimmed lights in the evening and stopped using her phone after 9 p.m. And within 2 weeks, she was waking up feeling more rested, and within a month, she realised she only needed 7 hours of sleep and was waking up naturally before her alarm. Her body wasn't broken, her signals were just off. Another client had chronic 3 a.m. waking. She'd fall asleep fine, then wake up at 3 a.m. with her mind racing, unable to get back to sleep. We worked on morning light exposure and nervous system regulation, and within a few weeks, the 3 a.m. waking started happening less frequently. Her nervous system was feeling safer, so it wasn't waking her up to scan for threats. Another client, this one's relevant if you're in a grey climate, it kept saying, I don't think the light's making any difference, it's too grey outside. I encouraged her to stick with it for a month, just go outside every morning, even when it feels pointless. By week 3, she noticed her afternoon crashes were less severe. By week 4, she was waking up with more energy. And by week 6, she said this is the most significant change she had made in years. The light exposure was working, even on grey days, but it just required consistent application. All right, so let's bring this all together. If you're exhausted despite sleeping enough, here's what I would focus on. First and foremost is morning light exposure. Get outside within the first hour or two of waking, 10 to 15 minutes minimum, longer if it's grey or overcast. Don't wear sunglasses, face the direction of the sun, even if you can't see through the clouds. Do this every day, even when it feels pointless, especially in winter or grey climates. And yes, even if it's raining, wear a raincoat. I know it feels a bit ridiculous, but it works. Secondly, reduce bright light exposure in the evening. Dim lights after sunset, use lamps instead of overhead lights, or use warmer toned bulbs or blue light blocking bulbs if possible. Reduce screen time before bed, or at least dim your screens and use blue light filters. And consider blue light blocking glasses, the orange ones, if you need to be on screens in the evening. Third, pay attention to meal timing. So try to finish your dinner by 7 or 8 p.m. most nights. Give your body a natural overnight fasting window, and this reinforces your circadian rhythm and improves sleep quality. Fourth, support your nervous system. So this is a bigger topic that we will dive into in future episodes, but for now, morning light helps, deep breathing helps, spending time in nature helps, reducing stimulation in the evening helps. When your nervous system feels safer, your sleep quality improves naturally. And here's the thing, you don't need to do all of this perfectly. Start with morning light, that's the foundation. Do that consistently for 2 weeks and see how you feel. Then add evening light management, then meal timing, build it gradually. Progress is so much more important than perfection. And if you start implementing these things, here's what you might notice. In the first week, you might not notice much, or you might notice you feel slightly more alert in the morning. In weeks 2 to 3, you might start waking up feeling a bit more rested, your afternoon energy crashes might be less severe, and in weeks 4 to 6, your sleep quality might improve noticeably. You might start waking up naturally before your alarm, you might have more stable energy throughout the day, but this is not magic and it's not a quick fix. It's about restoring the foundational rhythm your body relies on, and that takes consistent application. Some days will be easier than others, and some mornings you might not want to go outside. Some evenings you'll be on your screen until midnight, and that's okay, just keep coming back to it. So let's recap what we've covered today. If you're exhausted despite sleeping 8 hours, the problem might not be sleep quantity. It might be circadian misalignment. Your body runs on a 24-hour clock controlled by light exposure. When that rhythm is off, your hormones miss time, your sleep quality suffers, and you wake up feeling terrible even after adequate sleep duration. Morning light exposure is the most powerful signal you can give your body to set your circadian rhythm, even on grey days, even in winter, even when it's raining. And evening light exposure, even blue light from screens, can disrupt melatonin production and impair sleep quality. Meal timing also affects your circadian rhythm and sleep quality. So eating late at night can disrupt restorative sleep, and nervous system state matters too. When your body feels safe, sleep quality improves naturally. What might be happening if you're waking up exhausted is your body doesn't know what time it is, and when you give it clearer signals, morning light, reduced evening light, consistent meal timing, things often start to shift. Not overnight, but steadily. If you want to go deeper into what we've talked about today, I've created a free guide called 3 Hidden Signals Your Body is Missing. It walks you through the foundational signals, light, timing, and nervous system state, and gives you practical steps to start supporting each one. You can grab it from my website at francisnorgate.com/resources, and I'll leave the link in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for listening today. If you found this helpful, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And I would be really grateful if you could leave a review if you found this helpful in any way. It really helps other people find the show. Next week, I'll be talking about afternoon energy crashes and what's actually happening when you hit that 3 p.m. wall. I think you'll find it really helpful. I'm really glad you're here. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.